Welcome back to Narrow Path Doctrine. My name is Jim. It's Sunday. It is time for another chat video. We skipped last week, but decided to do one this week. Just off the top, I want to let you know that it's still really warm here in the UK, so I do have a fan going over here. If you happen to hear something, it's just so warm in here. This time around, want to talk about, well, I'll give you a little bit of an update on the Verse for Today Android app. Just a quick little update on that. Want to talk about a comment, a really good comment on a video, and we'll touch upon who has helped out the ministry in the last couple of weeks here. So if you are unaware, this is a full-time ministry that I am operating here. It operates on donations only. There are no other means of money coming in for me personally to continue to do this. There are no ads on this YouTube channel. There are no sponsors. There's no memberships, any paid anything at all. And some people think that it's wrong to be asking for donations or having donations for a channel here on YouTube. I disagree. Nobody has to donate to the ministry. If they feel so moved by God to donate to help out, if they're edified by the content, fantastic. If not, there's nothing required from you to watch the content. There are some channels out here who have paid sponsorships. They promote products from within their videos, and some of them even hide videos behind paywalls, and you have to become a paid member to watch that. That is wrong as far as I'm concerned. If you want to donate, great. If you don't, that's entirely up to you. If you do, the links are always in the description box for every video. There's a couple of links there, one for Buy Me a Coffee and one for PayPal if you use PayPal. And I always try to pin the first comment with those links in there as well. All right. So I want to thank those folks who have helped in the past couple of weeks here with donations to the ministry that help me continue to do this. One is anonymous. I don't know who they are. They just call themselves anonymous. Another Duncan, Brother Duncan, Brother David, Brother Mark, and the other one is someone. So there's another anonymous. So thank you so much, brothers and possibly sisters, for your continued support of the ministry here. And just before we get to the comment this time around, I just want to make mention of the Verse for Today Bible application that includes a random verse generator, and it's evolved into so much more. It's really a full-fledged Bible app. It is continuing to be developed while we're testing it, and everything you will find in a regular Bible app will be in this application, plus, the random verse, which is something I really wanted to have in a Bible application. You'll get the lexicon in there. You'll be able to highlight verses. You'll be able to bookmark verses. You can favorite verses. You can add notes to the lexicon. You can add notes to individual verses. It's just developing into such a bigger app. And I'm really enjoying getting it going and developing it. And we do have some testers who are working on it right now, testing it out each and every day. So thank you so much to those who are testing the application. I very much appreciate that. We have to get through a 12 or 14-day period with at least 12 people in order for Google to consider adding it to the Google Play Store and pushing it out to everybody. And of course, this application is called A Verse for Today. It is completely free. There are no ads or anything like that. So watch for it. If you have not got into the testing, watch for it hopefully soon. I'm hoping by the end of August, if not sooner, that it will be pushed out into Google Play and everybody can enjoy the application. I'm sure you will if you give it a shot. All right. So maybe watch for A Verse for Today. And I should mention, I didn't mention it in the last segment there, but the Verse for Today is an Android application only. I don't have an iOS version, for the iPhone or the iPad or anything like that. I don't have any plans right now to develop one for iOS because it's just such a different animal. It's so much more difficult, and I don't have the means. One of the things, too, is that there's a one-time $25 fee to become a Google Play developer, basically. It's just one time, and it's $25. For the Apple Store, the App Store, it's $100 US a year to be in there. So I think that's a little much too, and I can find better things to do with the little bit of money that I have coming in, like eat and survive and everything else. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like I will have an iOS version at any point in time here. Now, Want to talk about this video, this comment on a video. It was one of the Sovereign Grace videos, Calvinism videos, and I thought it was really, really good. So I thought what I would do is I would just read through this comment and let you know what they had to say. And I thought it was an excellent comment. I don't remember the name of the person, so I can't tell you that, but I did make a copy of it in a text file here, so I don't even have the name anymore. Let me just read it to you. It's really, really good. It says, for anyone who thinks that salvation automatically comes to those who have a mental assent to some facts, I think there is something that can be said to them, which, if they are a logical thinker, will prove the fallacy of their theology of salvation. I would tell them to make a list of exactly what one must believe in order to be saved. And I do have a video on the channel here that talks about, is that all you have to do? Just believe? Anyway, I would make it very clear that the list must be absolutely complete without leaving anything out whatsoever, but also should not include anything that is not necessary for salvation. Okay. Now, most people would initially make a very short list of items. Let me grab a cup of coffee or a sip of coffee here for a sec. Sorry, the old throat these days. Notice the mug? Vicky got this for me. I think I showed you once before. May contain sarcasm. Yep. Anyway, let's continue with the comment here. It says, I would respond to their list by questioning them about various things they left off, such as, is it necessary to believe that Jesus Christ was born to a virgin? Well, perhaps most would include that. Some would not, but probably would agree after it was brought up. Okay, that makes sense. A lesser likely item would be, is it necessary to believe that Jesus Christ existed from before time began and was not created? That's a pretty important one. Again, a few people might have that on their list, but probably a majority wouldn't think of that, even though they actually believe it. And of course, this could be extended out to many other issues, such as all sorts of attributes of God. The point of such is that think it is possible. Sorry, I think they meant to think that it is possible for anyone that comes up with a list, if they were honest with themselves, to admit that they left off some things. And by that, believe is where you can really get them to question their whole concept about what salvation is by following arguments. All right, so number one here, if you cannot come up with 100% accurate and complete list of what you must believe, then how can you possibly even state that salvation comes from what you think is belief? Okay, that makes sense, right? I think you would agree that the issue of salvation is the most important issue in the life of every single person on earth, right? It sure is. Does God want everyone to believe? Most people in this camp here would say yes. Well, then, why didn't God write in the Bible in such a way that there is a complete and unambiguous list of exactly what one must believe in order to be saved? The Bible says believe, but it doesn't define that, right? Now, number three here, it says, if you ask the pastor of your church, if you attend a church building, people in your church who you respect and believe are true Christians, and any of your saved family friends to do exactly what you did, would they come up with a list exactly as what you had? Of course, the answer to anyone who is honest is no, because there would be a huge discrepancy in the list between one person and another. Yeah, that makes sense as well. So if the Christians you respect don't even agree on what the list is, then you're saying that those people aren't really saved because they don't believe the same as you do, being they have a different list of what one must believe. We're going somewhere with this. I think that the second point is the real gotcha that none of them can truly answer. When he says, I think it's a he, says them, he talks about those who believe in free grace, free will. I chose Christ, basically, not God chose me. To their way of thinking, God wants everyone to be saved. One only needs to believe, yet God never recorded that list, and everyone has a different list, and nobody's list is even complete. How can anyone have even the slightest assurance of salvation if they believe that way and are shown this huge fallacy that proves nobody in their camp can precisely state what salvation is? This makes a lot of sense. Of course, the simple and correct answer to this dilemma is, you guessed it, Reformed theology. The faith necessary for salvation is provided by God, not by man, and God puts it into the heart of his chosen what they are to believe, which is what they believe, anything and everything that God has said in his word. There is no list because the entire foundation of their belief is fatally flawed. Now, I'm not saying that every individual in that believe equals mental assent camp is not saved. There likely are some, but unfortunately, the vast majority of them, I fear, never experienced a regenerate heart, and if so, then they clearly are not saved. And that makes total and utter sense to me, because at the end of the day, if there isn't this list somewhere in the Bible, then how can you think that you believed properly? Do you believe in the proper God? If you don't agree with the God of the Bible, if you don't agree with the God who ordains all things that come to pass, the God who draws men to him, and not all men, no, not all men, all types of men, but draws all men, and that if anybody comes to Christ, there are some people who think that you can lose your salvation. Well, Christ said that the Father draws them, they come to him, and if they do, I won't cast them out ever. So how can you lose your salvation? And if you think that you can walk away from Christ, then you're the one controlling your salvation. God isn't. And if God isn't in control, then how can God ordain the future if he isn't in control of his creatures who apparently have autonomous free will? Just think about all of that for a second. I thought that comment was really, really good, and it made a lot of sense to me, so hopefully you did find that edifying as well. All right, that's going to wrap up this chat for this week. I thank you so much for joining me, and you know what? Lord willing, we'll do it again next week. Until then, God bless.
Bring my heart home, back to where it all began. Remind me I'm truly known. Make me a wise man. Bring my heart home, back to where it all began.